and I flew up to the 9th floor looking into the apartment where we were staying in the condo, and I was about, I don't know, 10 feet away from the building.
Here. Welcome to a special episode of TR3 Wrench Time. Back to a theme that I've talked about before, about all the people that it takes to do a car restoration project, especially when you've never done one before. So one of the really cool things about this TR3 project and this garage cooperative and everything is this entirely new group of people that I've met and become friends with, and it keeps growing. And that's the theme of today. We've got another person that has sort of entered into our little car circle, and we're going to go over to his shop today and take a look around at some very special cars and hear some neat stories about why these cars, why this collection exists, who this guy is, and how we became part of his circle, or how he became part of our circle. So today we're going to introduce you to a new gentleman by the name of Teddy, and Steve actually was going to buy a car from Teddy. The timing didn't work out on that car, but you know, they kind of exchanged information, and Steve's a pretty knowledgeable guy, and Teddy called up Steve to give him some notes and sanity check on an engine build that he was doing. So Steve took me along. We went over and gave Teddy a hand with his engine project, and Teddy was generous enough to show us around and tell us some really cool stories about his collection and why he has it and stuff like that. So without any more jabbing, let's head over to Teddy's, and we'll catch you on at the end of the video.
Oh, hey.
Look at that. That is so cool.
That was pretty cool, like knocking it open.
Wow.
Pretty neat shot.
The scale of this is just...
That's something.
That's almost like you're a Triumph, right?
like 3 of them stacked on top of each other.
That's the same thing.
What an amazingly cool place.
I still haven't buffed out the edges with most of it.
Well, you've got skills.
I'm learning. Now the front fenders have a little bit of orange peel in them.
I see what you, yeah.
Pull it, but it's in there. The rear fenders don't have any orange peel in it. Because I got more aggressive with those. I was afraid when I did the front fender.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, so these I'll buff out again.
Yeah.
And I'll get it to look like that.
Wow. This looks fantastic. Can I ask you, do you ever drive it around?
Yeah, well, my goal is to drive it all the time. Every Sunday I want to take a car out for a spin.
Yep.
Otherwise you're in trouble.
Yep.
And you're familiar with those?
Oh, I've only seen something similar to this on Alistair's Chevy.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all basically, that gearing, that top, and the gearing and the float, the canister is the same on almost everyone. Stored vacuums, they all pretty much interchange the parts a little bit.
Interesting.
But Rolls-Royce, it's just the fittings are different.
This is great work. This looks fantastic.
Well, and not only that, he also made at least some of the body work, right?
Oh, so the whole roof is all wood. So the whole body is completely wood.
It's amazing.
And this is here. If you look here, see all the tacks?
Uh-huh.
So this is all solid wood and skinned in aluminum.
Wow.
So this shape here is all wood underneath, and this is all skinned in aluminum.
Wow. And that's how it was made originally?
Yes, originally, yeah. So there you could see that old wooden frame.
Goodness. Yeah.
So all that in there, all this wood here I had to replace.
Yeah.
Was just awful. The rumble seat that was like half this size was just a trunk lid on it. So this whole back end I made out of wood, and this here. Come on, get up. It's heavy as a bitch.
Oh my goodness.
So this is all solid wood, and you see it's all tacked on. So
Yep.
I English wheeled this piece and this piece here. I still need to make a piece that's a bumper to sit this on.
Oh yeah.
And I keep this towel here. until I make my bumper piece. And everything I'm doing, I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
And this engine though was together. So all I did was take all the parts off to clean them and put them to get back. I never really built an engine. This is basically the first time I'm trying to rebuild one. I wasn't sure if this timing chain was correct.
It's fascinating that they run the generator on it.
When I took it apart, this cover was on, but I took this off, and when I took it off, this went loose because that slides into there,
Sure.
and it keeps it tight.
Oh.
And then there's like this has a spring bushing. On the cover, there's a spring here that goes up against this. So that holds up against the, I took it off, I started cleaning everything, and I went to put it back together. In my head, I just want to make sure I didn't move it wrong and be off a tooth. Now this mark, these three marks I put on. So here's the problem.
What's that mark though?
In the book, says it's supposed to have, like that dot there,
Yeah.
it's supposed to have 2 dots here
Yeah.
and 1 dot here.
Yeah.
And then you turn these with the chain off, so that dot is centered between those two, right? With that said, there's the only dot is that dot there. There's a number 6 here, and there's some like victory, something that says a serial number over here.
Huh. That's
On the,
that's number 1 cylinder.
on the compression stroke.
On the compression stroke. So that would be both valves closed, which you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to go through this one, and then I'll tell you what I did. So here's where so here's the gas going in, and now it explodes. That's the compression stroke, right?
Yep.
So they're both down. So that's top dead center. That's the compression stroke, and when you look at it, we're right back where we needed to be. 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4 is the firing order, right? So this is 1. So this is going to be 1, then 5.
1.
And then 3, and then 6, and then 2, and then 4, and then 1 again.
Yep. Yep.
The next thing was on here, on the valves, it says,
Oh, good. They actually have adjusters on the Model T.
right?
It has side valves like this. There are no adjusters. What you do is you grind the valve.
So on the cold setting, the inlet valve should be 2,000. The exhaust is 3,000.
Well, if it's too tight, what happens is then the valve can't close all the way, and that's when you get burned valves because burning things are squirting out.
Oh, all
still,
the
and you
carbon's
get a-
going up in there because it's too loose.
If it's too loose, then you'll hear a tap, right?
You'll hear a
yeah,
tap.
Oh, too loose, you'll hear a tap.
Yeah, but there's no harm.
Right.
It just means
It wears it down
wears
a
it down,
little bit.
and then you do adjust it if it taps.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, you're not going to hear the difference between 2,000s and 3,000s.
True story.
And
Yeah.
it's-
Oh my goodness.
These are all Dodge Brothers except for the one in the back corners of Buick. But this is 1915, first year Dodge Brothers came out with cars. And I needed this one for 2 reasons. One, I wanted the first car that Dodge Brothers made.
Okay.
Not the first, but the first year. Who's Jimmy Stewart crashed the Dodge Brothers into a tree. That's the car.
Is that right?
Not the car, but that's the same model, same one. And this is a 23 touring car. And this does have a vacuum tank.
What's the backstory? Why are you fascinated with Dodge?
So when I was 17, I found this car in the woods.
Oh, when you say this car, you mean this actual car?
This actual car I found in the woods with a tree growing up through the center, about a 4-inch trunk. Had to cut the tree down, pull it out, paid 75 bucks to buy it, 75 bucks to tow it to my house.
Is this your first car?
This is my first car, but it was my parents' first car when I got married in 1947, this car. Well, when I did about 2 years later, I did a search on the car. About the same time I pulled the trunk rack out, it was green. And my dad said, my car was green, but I never painted the trunk. I only painted the car black with a spray paint. He bought it for 75 bucks and it was running. Well, he had it for 5 years, sold it for $75 running. And that was in, 47, so it was 52. And in 1974, I found this car in the woods off of Route 3. And I talked to the guy, said, I don't know who owns it, but it's been there ever since I owned this house. It's just rotting away. So I bought it, and then I tried to get a title for it a couple years later. And then when I did the title search, we found out my parents owned the car.
That is amazing.
We were running this last night.
Oh my goodness.
I'm building Annapolis.
Oh, look at this.
So there's about 700, 800 feet of track. and about 7,000 feet of wiring under here. And then there's a staging area under here, which has 8 layers of track and all the trains under there.
Can I, what is it with car guys that are also train guys? I don't understand. We went up to John Tokar's place, and he's into trains too. It's like, this is amazing.
So this is where they stage at, and they come out in the mountain.
That's awesome. I love the people throwing car parts down at the bottom of it.
I love it.
That's brilliant.
I love it.
These 3 buildings and the church are staying. These are completely scratch built to scale. That's St. Anne's Church downtown.
Okay. So this is the alternate history version of Annapolis, where there's a train that goes through downtown.
And then this whole section will be Main Street. The only 3 buildings I built so far is this is the Leader Shop, which was the Ivy Shop, Chicken Roost, of course, and then Pete's Pool Hall, which is now Acme.
Okay.
And they're all built to scale buildings.
So is that you right there?
That's my dad.
That's your dad. Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
That's cool. This is just so cool.
And there's a quarry over here.
And when did you start building this?
This was about 14 years ago. I mean, it took like 3 years to build the framework. And again, when I was working, I had like, you work like 3-4 hours a night. This is a snow shed.
Oh.
So when the snow gets up here and you have an avalanche, this keeps the snow off the track so it doesn't block the train.
How about that?
Rusty strings play the tunes of my grandpa's day. Dressed in Sunday's best stood sweet old Susie May. Soon I will revisit that glorious old day. Soon I will have my say.
So Teddy has graciously offered his talent and his facilities to help us see if we can save some of those really far gone body panels, like the fender with all the dents in it. So he's got a plenishing hammer and an English wheel, and we are going to attempt to use those tools to salvage the really bad pieces on the TR3. So it'd be really cool if we could actually put all of the original body panels back on the car. I think that would be fantastic. So we're gonna give it a good shot. He's got the skills and he's got the facilities and the tools to do it. So so if it can be done, we are going to persevere. Hey, thank you for watching this episode. The people are a really important part of this whole journey, and I love getting to share this stuff with you. You know, Greg's shop, Tokar's shop, and now Teddy's shop it's just been so much fun to meet these people and pick their brains and make new friends, and that's kind of part of what this journey is about. So I hope you like. If you do, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on TR3 Wrench Time.